Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the Good Bit podcast. We are here for another exciting edition, another film chat here on this brand new season. I'm going to need to stop saying brand very, very soon. It's like we're almost in March, or we are definitely in March by the time this episode goes out. And I still say it's the new year. It's not new anymore. It's just a year. Just like this season is not a new season anymore. It's just a new episode of the Good Bit Pod. Hello again, everybody. My name is Chris. I'm joined, as always, by Aaron. And returning to the Good Bit for the first time in ages, definitely the first time in the new year, 2021, Yubo Fergo. Ewan's back. Ewan, welcome back to the show.
Oi, oi, what's going on, guys? I've moved to England and I'm never coming back.
See, the good thing about the Good Bit before is it gave us like an excuse to all be together and go watch films together and talk together and that sort of thing. Now, with this new fantastic technology, we don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal, is it? But you gotta do.
Well, it's kind of ideal because that means if Aaron goes back to London, then, I mean, now we don't need to go, oh, well, he's off again. That's him finished.
True. Hopefully we'll be able to go down to London.
Absolutely. That's the plan, and we'll do it in the flat. Aaron, how are you?
I'm all right. You just did the whole intro going like getting confused in yourself. Like, it's not New Year. It's not New Year. It's just a year. And anyway, welcome Ewan for the first time in the new year. You're getting confused.
If I told you I did that on purpose, you wouldn't believe me, but I did that on purpose.
Oh, okay. Very subtle. If you did that, it was very subtle. Very nice. And I think I would have had to brought it up. Yeah, we got to do it.
I'm telling you, I'm just a brilliant performer. I really am brilliant. Okay, well, we're here. This was Ewan's choice, because if we're getting a guest on the show, then it's not a guest, another co-host, then they get to pick the film. So we had Ian on before, who picked The Untouchables, which was last week's episode, and now Ewan has beautifully selected Ex Machina, which is a fun film that we all checked out yesterday. I'm looking forward to chat about it, but before we do so, I have a question for both of you individually. We'll start with Ewan.
Mm-hmm.
Ewan, tell us what you did this morning.
Oh, wouldn't you like to know, Mr. Moffat?
If you don't mind, if it's too personal, you don't need to talk about it.
Oh, no, nothing's too personal for me. I went for my first COVID jab. Ooh. Yeah, dozed up, round one.
My first COVID jab.
My first COVID jab, yeah.
They go okay?
Yeah, it was fine. My arm's not even sore.
You posted a thing on your Instagram about the leaflet, and you put "Don't get COVID" or something, and it was completely aligned with the leaflet. I really thought that's what it said. I was like, oh, Glasgow leaflets. They've pandered to the.
They've pandered to Ewan's sense of humour.
Yeah.
No, because it says what to expect after the COVID-19 vaccine. Yeah, I'm quite the artiste, you know.
Yeah.
You fit my own lead text in there. Yeah.
That's fun. Well, I'm glad you've got it. It's not as if like it was in any dire straits, your health, but you know, I'm glad you've got it. It's another bit closer to safety.
Yes. You know, just being a type 1 diabetic, it has its downfalls, you know? And one of those downfalls is that my immune system is gubbed. So, yeah, just a wee extra boost, you know?
Yeah, good. I'm glad. And hopefully when Aaron and I get it in 2024, that'll be fun. Aaron, I know you kind of mentioned it before we started recording. You need to tell us about any Hermes adventures the past couple of weeks.
Haven't had a shift. Can't tell you anything.
No.
They've given up on me, and I've given up on them. Did you know this, Ewan? I've been working for Hermes.
Going well.
It was, you know. Yeah. Apart from accidentally binning a few parcels without knowing it. I won't rehash that story because I told it last week. But no, I haven't had a shift since we talked about it last week. They have ghosted me. I do text them saying, "How are you? How are you doing? Any shifts?"
I'm still here.
Sometimes I get ghosted, so you know, and I'm not that desperate to work. Although it would be nice. No stories.
Maybe one of your employers listens to the podcast.
Well, if they do, I've been nothing but complimentary. I think.
Exactly. Apart from, I think, Midnight in Paris when you were like, Hermes, I've given up on you. What you doing? Where's my shifts?
Yeah. Well, they've given up on me before that, so what can you do?
Well, you said that your boss's name's Leanne, but we also have a Leanne who is a big fan of the show, who's been on the show before. We can't wait to get her on very soon. What would you like to say to not your boss Leanne, but that Leanne?
What would I like to say? I would like to say to that Leanne, are all Leannes in cahoots? And have you been talking to my boss Leanne, telling her that I don't actually like being a Hermes delivery driver and I'm actually an actor? Because they don't know that. Have you done that? Please let me know. Because if you have, you've really fucked me.
Hermes was not your actual choice of occupation. It's just something you do on the side.
Listen, the people at Hermes don't know that. As far as they know, I have been thinking since I was a wee boy, I want to be a Hermes delivery driver. This is my passion. And that's the sort of the thing you balance as an actor. You guys know this. You don't say on your first day of a new part-time normal job, I'm an actor, because I don't, because they look in their eyes, they go, oh, right.
Yeah, I've got to the point where I laugh at myself every time I call my job my part-time job, because it's my full-time job, and my acting's my part-time job, because I'm never working.
That's not true. You were working this past week.
That is true. That is true.
You're the only one out of all of us that's actually got an acting job in lockdown.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm very grateful for it. Yeah, no, it has been actually ideal. It's just hard, it's like it's 2 weeks and then it's however long until the next.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Next one. It's just,
I was asked recently when someone asked me like, "What do you do?" and stuff. I said, "Well, I used to be an actor."
You didn't say that.
Before everything shut down. And then the person was like, "Oh, really? What's your background? Tell me your story." And I was like, "Whoa! Like, tell you my story? Oh, okay."
I feel like this happens every time.
Even when he's not in the room. He's just got the COVID jab and he's still coughing.
That's the symptom.
Yeah. Ewan, by the way, I don't think your mic's actually been plugged in, because when you coughed, I still heard every minute of it. So I think you're being picked up through your Mac, but you can hear us through your headphones. Which is fine, because it's working fine. Just saying.
Is that why... Oh, yeah.
No. I think it still is the mic on the headphones, but it's just sensitive. I think it's fine.
Sensitive. Okay.
It doesn't matter. Just in case you're hindered, it's fine.
Chris, stop panicking, mate. You know that I'm really worried about this MacBook, because it's not mine, and
just don't spill any water on it or anything. You'll be fine. You'll have your sister to deal with.
I know.
Yes. I've had a busy week too. I don't like. I was saying to Aaron about this. I don't like complaining about having a busy week when I'm really just when I'm getting like shifts at work and that sort of thing, and people are losing their jobs and their livelihood, and I'm sitting here complaining about work. I shouldn't be doing that, but I feel awfully tired. I feel awful overworked and stuff. But it's lots of like self-inflicted stuff, like, oh, I still need to edit this podcast. Oh, I still need to watch the new episode of WandaVision, and it all just like adds up, and it's like I've got so much to do. I don't know what you guys have been up to this week.
Sorry. So also sorry for not asking. I realised you just went, oh, what have I been doing this week? Anyway,
I'll none of the ask, but I'll tell you what I did anyway.
You're the hostess with the mostess. You
right?
Yeah. I don't know. No, you can be tired. You can be overworked. It's fine. Even if it is, I need to watch WandaVision.
Right.
That's fine.
Well, speaking of that, have either of you, other than MACHINA, have you watched anything else this past week?
No. I watched a few episodes of this new Netflix thing called Pretend It's a City. It's like, it's this, I've talked about it before, it's this Jewish writer called Fran Lebowitz. And it's like it's directed by Martin Scorsese. And it's like a 10-part mini series about her sort of like giving her hot takes on New York and life. And she's very witty, and Marty, as she calls him, is like following her around everywhere, asking her questions, and he just loves her and he directs it, and it's very Scorsese. So I'd recommend that.
Very nice.
It's episodes, did you say?
Episodes, yeah.
What do you prefer in terms of like a documentary style thing like that? Do you prefer episodes, or do you prefer just to have like all the story told to you in the one documentary?
I would have said before this, all the story told me the one documentary, but this is good. I like a series like this. There's no real story because it's not like an investigation into something. It's really just her going, "What I think about cigarettes, I'll tell you." But I enjoy it.
Depends how many episodes as well. I feel sometimes.
If there's too many, it's like, ugh.
Yeah, especially if it's like 10 episodes and it could have been done in 2. Do you know what I mean?
I feel like a lot of that stuff is like, maybe I'm a bit cynical, but like when I see like a murder documentary on Netflix and it's 10 episodes, I'm like, you're squeezing it out there. I can tell.
I feel like we've spoke about this before, Aaron, actually, about murder documentaries. It was one that came out a while ago. I can't remember what it was called, but there was like 7, 8 episodes. I was like, you could have done, you literally into hour-long episodes. It would have been done, and it would have been satisfying.
Yeah, there's that new docu-series about the Cecil Hotel. You know, that one on Netflix? And my sister watched something like a documentary on YouTube about it like a couple of years ago. So she like knew the story. So then Netflix have picked up and done 4 episodes, 4 hour-long episodes on it. And she watched them and she was like, I literally knew the story in the 1 hour YouTube thing I watched.
Right.
I didn't need it being dragged over, you know, the 4 episodes and being told what, you know, Skid Row is and what all these bad things about the city is and all these things. It's just kind of stretched out. But I guess it's just because Netflix are taking like feedback, I guess. And it's just people obviously love these series and they love these documentaries and that sort of thing, and they just want content. So maybe that's why they're doing it. I don't know.
Binging, they love binging. Do you know what I mean?
They love binging loads of episodes and stuff.
I had a thing with that very docu-series that I mean, we're 30 minutes in, haven't talked about the film, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to talk about it.
No, please do.
Cecil Hotel, that thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, here we sat down the other night for Friday night pizza night. Everyone gets a takeaway, and instead of sitting around the dinner table eating, we sit down and we watch something. And the consensus was they wanted to put on Cecil Hotel, this docuseries. And I was ready to eat my pizza. I was all ready for it. Came on, and I just went, no, I'm going to have to leave, and I'm going to go watch my own thing on my iPad while I watch my while I watch my pizza also while I eat my pizza, because I don't know how you are. But when I'm eating, I'm very sensitive and I want to have the best experience ever while eating this delicious pizza that I've starved myself all day for. And I can't be watching murders in a grotty hotel while eating a pizza. It puts me off. I don't like it. I'd rather watch a YouTube video about the top 10 best pizzas in New York City.
Yes. Whilst eating a pizza. That sounds lovely, actually.
It sounds like a good idea. What type of pizza?
Oh, it was a margarita. I'm a classic guy. What can I say? I won't go into that.
I had a margarita last night.
Of course, you're an even bigger pizza guy.
Connoisseur.
Yeah.
Yes. Tell us, what is your favourite type of pizza to make and eat?
Do you know?
It's a great chat.
Honestly, I know it's such a plain Jane move, but a margarita, if the sauce is good and the cheese is good and the
just
base
hits all the
is
spots.
Good, that's all you need, baby.
Thank you for saying that. That means a lot.
Maybe I would. Sometimes I have been known to throw a wee bit of pepperoni on, maybe half of my margarita.
Yep, like that.
But I can take those liberties because I'm making my pizza.
Yeah, I sometimes think though, if I'm going somewhere to get a pizza, say it's like a Domino's or something, right? I should be quite experimental, because it's like we're going to a pizza specialist. You know what I mean? Like, I can't just get a margarita if I'm going to Domino's. I must get chicken and meatballs and pepperoni and all sorts.
Funny you say that. Funny you say that. I wouldn't get a margarita from Domino's.
What would you get?
Some like barbecue base, like extravaganza meat feast.
Texas barbecue meat feast or something.
Meteor. I think that's what it's called. A meteor.
Yes. I love this, by the way. Maybe we should start a new podcast, the Good Food Podcast.
The Good Food. Actually, that's quite good. Would you? So, if you guys are getting a pizza takeout and you're going to sit down and watch something, do you have a particular thing that, no, I can't watch that because I need to concentrate too hard and I want to enjoy, or I can't watch that because it's gory? Is there a thing that you couldn't watch while eating?
I think I just like watching films and TV and stuff at night time anyway, just because I just like to chill more, and it's like the day's done, let's watch a film sort of thing. I'm not very good at watching TV and films during the day.
Yep.
But I guess dinner time is kind of the evening. I tend to watch things like that don't need much concentration. Like I'll watch wrestling, or I'll watch the Clone Wars sometimes, or I'll watch The Simpsons, or something daft, a game show. I love a quiz show or something like that. But not on purpose. Like I don't say I can't watch that. I could watch that, like a gory film or something. I don't think that would affect me. But it is rare that I watch a film or something with dinner, I must say.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't. Yeah, because I wouldn't say anything would put me off. Anything gory in terms like that. Although the other night, I was watching a video that Steve-O put on his Instagram.
Okay, yeah. I can't watch Jackass if I'm eating food.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
This was not. I don't even know if I should say. It wasn't that bad, but it's just bogging. And I was eating, and I was like, oh. It was like 2 minutes into the video. I was like, oh no! Basically, he got like bad burns on his arm, and it all like blistered up massive. And a big, massive bit of skin had come off, and his bird made him eat it.
Oh, come on.
What? I did not expect you to say that. I thought maybe they said like they threw water on his burns or something.
No.
Maybe eat his skin.
Eat his skin. And he was like, I'm just trying to sit there and eat my chicken nuggets.
That would put me straight off. Yeah, no.
That was you when you're trying to eat the chicken nuggets going,
But normally I like watching a podcast sometimes.
Oh yes,
yeah, I agree
like
with you.
Joe Rogan maybe.
Joe Rogan, I would watch a wee bit of Joe Rogan when I'm eating because I just like to listen. And
yep,
yeah,
I'm with you.
Yeah, you sent me a text when The Undertaker was on Joe Rogan's podcast. Did you watch that one?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So he retired from wrestling this past year, and he had like a docu-series on the wrestling streaming service. It was a 5-part docu-series, which was like groundbreaking because he's always been in character, being like the dead man.
Yep.
So it was the first time he was totally out of character, and it was like a documentary about his career in the last few years of his life. So like the novelty had kind of worn off of me, like watching him in real life and stuff and seeing him as a real guy.
Yeah.
But then that Joe Rogan thing came out, and he was just like 2.5 hours or something, just sitting there chatting. It was really interesting. I'm glad you watched it. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, I hadn't seen that docu-series, so all I had known of him was The Undertaker, do you know what I mean? So it was interesting to see. And now, just even to hear about wrestling and like...
Yeah.
Because even though you know it's not real, there is obviously parts of it that are very real, and they are getting injured and all those things, do you know what I mean? So it was interesting.
Yeah. Only people I don't want to get into this, but I'll like people who think that it's all just daft and stuff. Clearly I don't know what it is though. You know what I mean? When you listen to them and stuff and you can see all the injuries and stuff, then that's fair. But it's like theatre. If someone breaks their back on stage by accident, they still broke their back on stage. It wasn't part of the show.
Yeah.
Same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Aaron, what's the last time you watched wrestling?
I've never watched wrestling. I used to play a WWE game on my Game Boy Advanced. Does that count?
It does count, yes. You watched Fighting with My Family, didn't you?
Yeah, yes. That was wrestling,
yeah.
Yes.
That was...
I quite like that.
Me too.
It's fine. Did it make it on my top 10? I think it did.
It did. It was your number 10, I believe.
A sparse year for films. Or was that a good year?
Yes. That was 2019.
Oh, that was a good year.
That was a good year. Yeah.
Right, well, there you go. I did like it.
Yeah. It was. I think it was a lot of heart, that film. I think it was like easy to watch and stuff. I think that's what kind of swayed it against some other films you maybe watched. But that had a great opportunity to paint wrestling in a daft light, but it did a really good job. I thought Vince Vaughn doing well.
He's a good actor, man.
He is good, yeah.
Vince Vaughn is a good actor. Gets a bad rep. You're absolutely right. Do you know who else is a good actor?
He's going to say Oscar Isaac or something like that.
Yeah, or Domino Gleeson or Alicia Vikander.
Well, there's only 3, so...
Well, there was... No, wait a minute. There's someone else. It was... what about Sonia Mizuno? She was on it too.
Sonia Mizuno, yeah.
So this week's choice was Ex Machina by Alex Garland. Any fans of Alex Garland out there?
Do you know, I don't even really know what he done before. Other than that,
me neither. I haven't looked now. So he wrote 28 Days Later.
That was it.
Yeah.
He wrote a film from 2007 called Sunshine.
Oh, Sunshine! Oh,
yes.
I did know this. I did look this up before.
He wrote an episode of Batman Black and White, the TV series, in 2009. And he wrote the screenplay for Dread and Never Let Me Go. However, he also wrote the screenplay for Annihilation, but his directorial debut, I believe, was this film Ex Machina, and he's also doing something else coming up soon. If I click director here, it's called Men, which has just been announced, and that's coming out soon. But he also did a thing called Devs, which was a TV miniseries in 2020. So he's relatively a new director, and I think he does a good job here. And this nice sci-fi thriller from 2014. Ewan, why did you decide to pick Ex Machina this week for us to talk about?
Well, it's a film that I've heard lots about. Not anything like in particular about it, but just that it's a good film and it's pretty highly rated. I've just been meaning to watch it for a while. And when I was obviously I'd been speaking to you about doing the podcast, and I thought, maybe I could say to the boys if they want to watch that. And I wasn't sure if any of you had seen it either.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. It was just tickling my fancy, and it was on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
It was just like the stars were aligning.
It's just the perfect time to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been on my radar for a while. It's not been on like my main to watch list, but you know the way it's one of those films that came out and you just didn't see it and like it just passed you by and stuff. It's one of them. But again, this is 2014, so I was introduced to Domhnall Gleeson and Oscar Isaacs in Star Wars, of course, which is late 2015. So I don't know who they were. So it's not as if it was like, oh, Oscar Isaac's new film, let's go see it. I didn't get to that stage yet. Maybe I would do that now, but at the time, definitely not. So that's why it kind of passed me by. And you always see it on and stuff. And you see the DVDs and stuff and HMV or Asda or whatever, and I always look at it and stuff, but it's never really been at the top of my list. So that's why when you picked it, I was very keen to watch it because I was like, yes, this gives us an excuse to check it out and stuff. And I was happy I did. Aaron, what do you think? Did you have any like preconceived opinions of the film?
No, I didn't. Kind of the same as you guys. I like when you said I want to watch it, I was like, oh yeah, I do want to watch that too. And I have wanted to watch it.
Yeah, good.
Probably since it came out and there was a lot of hype about it, but just one of these things you just like don't. So no, I was excited to watch it, and
I didn't even know what it was about. You know what I mean? Like I was going in totally blind, which is one of my favorite things to do for films. Like it's good to go see trailers and stuff and go see big blockbusters and stuff, but sometimes the best ones are ones you have no idea what to expect, and you're kind of like hit with it. And you're like, whoa, like I really like that. And I didn't expect to like it. So you liked that?
I did. I didn't. I didn't know what to expect either. I knew it was about AI because I'd seen stills and like clips of it, and you can tell that. But yeah, I had no idea the story at all, and I really liked it. I was hooked the whole time. I guess some people could say it was a bit slow because Anna, my girlfriend who was watching with me, did say it. He was like, it was a bit slow. Yeah. And I completely didn't even realize that. So I was like, wow, a film that's a wee bit slow that keeps you hooked the whole time. There's a lot to say about that. I really liked it. I was hooked.
It's only an hour 48 though. So is it? I don't know what.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird, isn't it? That it kind of feels slow, but it's not even that long. And you are still always interested in what's happening.
Yeah.
What's going to... Yeah.
I think maybe it felt slow because the nature of the story is quite slow because you're just set in the one place and it's just the same few actors you see. I think that's always going to make the film not flow as well as other films. Like you watch big blockbusters and there's so much going on. They're technically easier to watch because there's always something happening. But these smaller films where there's less actors and less explosions and things like that going on, it might slow the pace down. But I don't think that's a bad thing.
No.
If it's slow to the point where it gets boring, then that's a bad thing. I was thinking about 2001: A Space Odyssey when I was watching this film, which me and Aaron watched the first half an hour of one time, and and nothing happens in the first half an hour of that film, and that's a long film. That's like 3 hours, I think, maybe 2.5. And I saw it in the cinema, and it was so long and so slow. There was an interval at the cinema, because it was like the 50-year anniversary of it and stuff, and you had to like stand up and leave the room and come back in after the interval. And I was like, that's not how you watch films these days. But that was obviously the thing back in 1968 or whenever that film came out. So I was thinking about that when I was watching Ex Machina, because I was like, it's the same sort of thing. There's a few actors and they're talking to a robot, and there's AI involved, and it is a wee bit of a slow pace. But the difference between these two films is that this film isn't as long, so it's definitely going somewhere, and you don't want to lose interest because you need to pay attention to make sure you know what happens, and also you're interested in it. It's not like you're forced to kind of pay attention because you need to follow the story. It's easy to follow the story and stuff. So that's why I really like this one. It wasn't like this big chore to watch it, even though it was technically a wee bit slow.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought everybody in it was really good, considering the fact they didn't have that much to work with.
I think it's also probably down. It's very still, like it's shot nicely. I think all the shots look really good, but it is
Yeah.
always very just still, like not much movement at all, unless they're like obviously moving. But
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I feel like there was very little movement, and I feel like that is maybe as well what makes it feel a bit longer. But yeah, I wasn't. I only watched it today,
Yeah.
because I was working last night, and so yeah, I watched it today, and I didn't. It went by pretty quickly for me. I really enjoyed it.
I mean, 1 hour 48 is nearly 2 hours, so it's still a longish film, I guess. 2 hours is
Yeah.
a long time, but it doesn't feel like that. I don't think.
I was thinking there, like, because none of us saw it, and it was kind of a big deal when it came out. I remember. I think it was in a time just before us three, in particular, got into movies, because it was a year before we went to Enclan and all joined Cineworld and all went on that trip.
Mm-hmm.
So, if it had come out a year later, we'd all have seen it in the cinema together, which is weird to think about.
Yeah, that is weird to think
True,
about.
yeah.
And I wonder how we would have thought about it, and would we have bonded over it because of that? Like the way we bonded over that cooking film with Bradley Cooper. That's
Burnt! Yeah,
terrible.
yeah.
Burnt.
Burnt,
Oh.
yeah. But at the time we were like, oh yes, quite interesting film. But I bet if we watched it now, we were like, we were
Meh.
probably just on the high of getting
Cineworld
the cinema
passes.
card or whatever.
Yeah, but that's interesting. We would have definitely seen it, because at that point we saw every film that was even a bit noteworthy, like Burnt.
Yes.
We were like, well, we must see it.
Yes, we went after college. We saw things like Bridge of Spies and all the films that came out around that time, around the Oscar time, like the first time we got it, like 2015, 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And that was great fun. Like I would never have gone to seen Ex Machina or Bridge of Spies or something if I didn't have the card. So that's or Burnt even. So that's something I do miss. Not necessarily the thought of sitting in the same room with 200 people right now kind of freaks me out now thinking about it. But I do miss that kind of buzz of going to the cinema and seeing these unknown films and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the thing with sorry,
no,
the thing with I thought about this film, the way they structured it and shot it, like it's all in this house that is owned by this tech billionaire and the sort of archetype of that is very clean, minimalist, techie house. The way they shot in that house, they gave themselves loads of space for, like you say, like stillness and really clear shots, really clear imagery, because it's sort of a blank canvas in a way, like the whole film. So they gave themselves so much space, like compared to what we watched last week, Untouchables, which is in Chicago in the Prohibition, where you got all this happening.
Right.
And it's a completely different film. But in this film, they gave themselves so much scope to still
Have
moments and have nothing. You know what I mean?
And they could do whatever they wanted as well. There was there's no rules to follow. Like when they're in the Untouchables, they need to follow what happened or what life was like around that time. But this time it was literally, it wasn't even out in the open. It was in this underground hut house thing, and just it was weird. I mean, what a cool house though. I mean, I'd like to go there.
Yeah. I was thinking that as soon as he walked in, and it was like built into the rock face. Yeah, I was like,
cool.
Imagine. Should we talk about performances?
Yes, please tell me, who was your favourite?
I think Big Oscar Isaac.
Yeah. I think he's a great actor, and I think he's. I don't know what age he is, but I think he could do so much more than what he's already done. I think he's great.
In his 40s.
1979. Yeah, 40s, late 40s, early 50s.
I enjoyed seeing him play a sort of cynical, bastardy know-it-all when all I've really seen from before is Poe Dameron, a character that I personally do not like, and annoys me in every sequels film. He's like, "Come on, guys, we got to do it one more time." I don't know. I don't like him. I don't like the sequels. I have nothing nice to say. But I liked seeing him as
That's
a
quite a good
cynical...
impression, actually. Do that again.
I can't do it again. I'm not going to do it again. It's just an American man.
General American, yeah.
General American.
Get that in the CV.
I once I was at an audition. Sorry, this is a complete sidetrack.
Please tell us.
Do you ever do these drama school auditions where they do it all in the room?
We
did a few of them.
Everyone's in the same room, and everyone gets up and does their monologue.
Yeah.
So it was for Guildford Drama School, the one that Ian went to, actually. And this girl got up to do her monologue in American accent, which for drama school auditions, you don't really do. You do your own accent. And the guy who was holding the auditions was like, stop. Sorry, everyone stop. What accent are you doing? And she's like, General American. And he's like, okay, sit down. We must talk about this. One thing is for sure. What is General American? Please answer me this. And she's like, like just sort of General American. And he's like, well, who in the world speaks with a General American accent? Americans? No. Because a General American accent doesn't exist. You have certain places in America, a General American accent is phony. It doesn't exist. Never say it. Never do it. Sit down. And it was like that. It was like the most horrible moment ever. And every time I hear someone say General American now, I get flashback to that wee girl's face. Just our dreams getting destroyed in front of us.
Did she get in?
No. I don't. Well, how do I? They don't tell you in the moment. No, yes. No. Stephanie Payne actually got in from that audition.
She was really good though. She was a good actress.
She was really good.
I went to an audition one time, and they were looking at my CV, and they were saying, "So you do accents?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can do." And they were saying, "What accent would you like to do?" And I was just like, "I don't know. I think my strongest is probably American." And then the guy went, "Let's do Northern." So I was like, Northern American or Northern Irish, Northern English? So I started doing an American accent. He's like, no, stop. Northern English. Didn't specify. And I went, oh, okay, fine. Then I had to realise in that moment what Northern English meant.
No.
And I just couldn't get whatever came out. I always say it was Jamaican. I have no idea.
Oh.
No idea. Didn't get the part, of course.
Of course.
Do you know who was good at a General American accent?
Who?
Domino Gleeson. I'm just making sure he's not.
Actually, that's a good point.
He's Irish. There you go.
I bet he was literally doing a General American accent. That Guildford guy doesn't know shit. I mean, I would like to know his name because fucking.
It may have been Domino Gleeson. Who knows?
It was actually Domino Gleeson.
Yeah. No such thing as a general.
Fire at that cruiser! Listen, he was very good. I thought he was very subtle, and seemed like a really nice young lad. And that's kind of what they were going for, I guess, for that character.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Yes, good accent, but in terms of character, I just feel like it was a bit, I don't know.
Beige?
I felt like, a bit beige. He was just kind of fitting into what the narrative needed him to, I feel.
Yeah. Hey, listen, that's tough. I get you.
Tough.
And I kind of, it's not a performance that I sort of get inspired by, do you know what I mean? Like exactly, the leading man, like Ian said last week, like Tom Hanks, all these actors, leading men all the time, like, it's really hard. And I don't, it's not particularly, inspiring. Like, I've learned over the time to have more appreciation for performances like that, but I get what you mean. Like, it's not something as an actor you go, Donald Gleeson in this film.
He's just playing a nice guy.
Yeah, and he's great at it, but
he was good. Yeah.
Oscar Isaac is a performance that lives in your head a bit. And yeah, like, come on, the sequel trilogy of Star Wars. Can we go back to that? Domino Gleeson should not be playing a bad guy. He should be playing the good guy, like Poe, and Oscar Isaac should play the bad guy. They screwed up that casting. This film got it right.
Do you think that now because you watched this film?
I thought that at this time, but now it's been
Really
reinforced.
Solidified, yeah.
Yeah, what you're right about what you said about Oscar Isaac too. It was nice to see him playing something totally different, because he's very good at it.
He's better at it. He's better at it.
Just playing a bastard,
Yeah,
And I love how he just calls him that at the end of the film. He just goes, "You're a bastard."
You're a bastard.
As if like, take that.
Yeah,
Don't even know if it's factual or not. He's just calling him it anyway.
Yeah, because he was like a drunk, but he was like so smart, but also
Outsmarting everybody too,
outsmarting. Well,
even when pissed.
well,
Except for the end.
Spoiler.
Spoiler alert. Yeah, the fucking dance sequence. And he's like,
Oh, I totally forgot about that. That was great.
Brilliant. Didn't see it coming. I was howling.
Yeah, didn't see it coming. And I love how it was like a routine and everything. Brilliant.
They practiced that.
They went down the way and came back up. Yeah.
Oh, it was good.
That was cool. What about Alicia Vikander? She is so pretty.
She's gorgeous. Yeah.
Yeah, even in robot form.
Yeah. No, I thought she was. Yeah, she was very good. Because it wasn't like. If someone's playing a robot, they must have the tendencies to go.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, exactly. And I don't know how they did that. Like, did she wear
Must be green.
dots and they just.
I think
Yeah.
Because if it was her movement, then even that, I thought she was still very like. It was a bit robotic, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Not robotic. It was where you could tell it was a machine sort of thing. And I thought she was very good at the face. It was like, I don't know, it didn't change much, but it was like you could see everything working behind the eyes.
She pulled off that sort of balance between like being a computer intelligence and also not knowing how to be a human. Like,
yeah,
that
and
is a tough thing to do.
When you're cast as a robot, you're thinking, right, what am I going to get to do here? How much space and freedom do I have? Like, how human can I be if I'm playing a robot? But obviously, because it's so advanced and stuff, he's made them so human-like, and all the other models before, but she's the most advanced. And I just loved that. She was very robotic, but not in a kind of stale acting way. You could tell that it was everything was done on purpose and stuff, which I thought was really nice. And even just the way she was speaking to Domhnall Gleeson's character, like, do you have feelings for me? Like, it didn't seem as if it was forced. It just was like as if it was how she would speak. Yeah.
Well, there is some things I want to talk about, but it does get into spoiler territory.
Well, I think we have to do spoilers because,
of course,
we can't talk about the film without main things like that. And also, I think if people are listening to the episode, they surely have seen the film.
It's been, 2014?
Well, you could. I don't know, actually, because how many people have seen other ones? We can talk, we can say that, yeah. Spoiler warning.
We talk about spoilers every other time, Chris.
We've never averted from spoilers on this show.
No.
I think I said at one point, we'll censor spoilers. Anyway, that guy died. Like, I think that's what I did. But anyway, there you go.
Well, in terms of her performance, that's what I was going to say. I couldn't, by the end of it, I was like, I couldn't figure her out, because obviously they talk about, or Oscar Isaac's character, Nathan, talks about she's just playing you. She's just like, he talks about that a wee bit, even before the end, when he does reveal that, or there's a scene at the end with the two of them before he gets plugged.
Yeah. Plugged.
And he's talking about her manipulating him there, and how that was the experiment. Like, he was the test, not her. And so I was like, throughout the full thing, but they'd mentioned it a wee bit before earlier on, and the whole time I was like, is she? Is it? And then that bitch walked away at the end.
Yeah, which makes me think when Oscar Isaac is going, she's playing you, and Domhnall Gleeson, you kind of think he's sort of going, well, joke's on you because I've already done it. He's sort of going, oh crap, I've already done it, and he's right. She's played me, and shit. I was sad at the end because, like, he's the main character, really, not her. and at the end of the film, he's, I guess he died.
I couldn't believe they trapped him there. I thought it would be, if anybody was getting out, it was him.
Yeah, because he's the protagonist. Yeah,
he's the one that you're supposed to like. Yeah, and even if they were to go together, I was predicting they were going to end up together, and he was going to have this relationship with this robot. That's what I think was going to happen. And then she locks him in the thing and everything. And I was like, whoa, what a twist! And
doesn't even look at him.
Nice.
Doesn't even look at him. Ovsky. That
was good. It was a good twist, and I didn't expect it, which is always the best.
So at the end, obviously, she gets out. She looks completely human.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Spoiler: she's covered herself in the skin, which I also thought. My one bit, I was like, surely that comes off too easily. If he's having sex with all these, how is they not just like peeling off? Anyway,
all the time.
But she gets dressed up as a human. She leaves, and I thought at that moment, wow, imagine if this has already happened. Like maybe a year or 2 or 5 years ago, this has happened in real life. Imagine, because that is how it'll happen. And they'll walk amongst us. You won't know. It won't be. Yeah.
So you're walking along like a busy street or something, and you have no idea that you're the only real human there.
I reckon that'll be it.
I have one question. So at the end, she walks up to the helicopter, and this guy just takes her.
Yeah. I guess she manipulated him in some way as well. Maybe he said,
"Is she that good that he's waiting on Domhnall Gleeson, and she turns out and he goes, yep, okay."
Well, was it the same helicopter pilot?
I think
that dropped him off.
I think so,
because it could be a different person. But yeah, or I mean, she could easily just say something like, "Oh, they're still working" or something, because obviously the pilot doesn't know that it's a robot that's speaking to them. You know what I mean?
Take me the now and come back.
Yeah,
that's exactly what she said.
Who are you?
Take me the now and then come back. Is that how you say it?
Take me the new and bring me back next week. Make sure you come back next week for Caleb. Yes, and then of course we can't talk. Forget about Sonoya Mizuno, who played Kyoku, the other robot that was the servant, who was fine too. Yeah.
She didn't have much. She didn't have much to do either.
But there's moments where she gave a look or something that showed that she still had feelings and she wanted to get out too.
Yeah. There was that weird interaction at the end with Ava and Kyoko, and she was like tapping her and like whispering something.
Oh yeah, what was that about?
That reminded me of that thing that happened. You remember when they made those 2 AI humans that looked a little bit like that, but less good, obviously, and they had to switch them off because they started talking to each other, like in code and stuff. Like they started communicating with each other more than with the people who made them, so they had to turn them off.
Right. Wait, what's that in real life?
In real life, yeah.
Oh.
I can't remember what they call them. You know, the ones that are real, that sort of look. I know. It's based on.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of them, but yeah, they start to talk.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought kind of maybe some sort of binary thing or something. It probably will just be code.
Probably, yeah, because that's the only thing they can understand. Yeah, listen, we've done the Terminator on The Good Bit season 2, and now we're doing this film. So we just love robots. So what's the next one? iRobot, Chappie.
Wally.
What other robot films is there?
I've not seen Chappie. What's Chappie?
I've never seen Chappie. It's Hugh Jackman and what's his face? Dev Patel.
Oh.
I don't know that.
Hang on, I got it on Blu-ray.
What about Robots? Remember that one? The cartoon.
Oh, Ewan McGregor, Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Great voice cast.
Oh, Chappie. I've never even heard of that.
Chappie.
This is great audio.
4 stars.
Is it good?
Never seen it.
The only review it's got is 4 stars on the front of their DVD. So,
yeah, it says in the near future, crime is patrolled by an oppressive mechanized police force. But now the people are fighting back. When one police droid, Chappie, is stolen and given new programming, he becomes the first robot with the ability to think and feel for himself. Maybe we'll watch that. Something
doesn't sound very good.
I've heard it's good, actually. I've heard it's good.
No, I'm into that. I'm into that sort of AI taking over the world sort of thing. Remember that?
That's
Have you
going to
seen
happen
that?
eventually.
Seen that episode of Black Mirror? When have you not seen that episode? You seen Black Mirror?
Nah, I don't
Yeah.
watch that.
What
The one where
happens?
all the dogs, the robot dogs, have just taken over, and it's those AI dog things that look weird and they sort of crawl and jump about. They're in real life. Those things. Have you seen those?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the destroyer droids from Revenge of the Sith.
Yes, they look like that.
Yeah.
It's basically a Black Mirror episode where a more advanced version of that has just taken over, and humans are living in the shadows, getting
Sweet.
destroyed.
Interesting.
I recommend that.
Black Mirror has a lot of good got a lot of good episodes actually. Have you ever seen? I'm sure there's a film called Artificial Intelligence, isn't there? Is it not Steven Spielberg?
Yeah, of course there is. Yeah, Spielberg from like the 70s, maybe, I think.
No, not
Never
that
seen it.
far. I think it's like 90s. It's got little Haley Joel Osment in it.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I've not seen it, but it's definitely on my list because it's like I want to see these big Spielberg films and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But listen, it's my turn to pick a film for next week, so I'm not decided
crap.
yet. Though I'm not going to do it on the fly. I'm going to take some time and think about what I want to watch.
Okay.
So I'm thinking something animated though.
Animated.
Yeah.
We haven't done animated yet.
No.
What did Anna then think of the film? She said it was a bit slow, and what else?
She just said she just thought it was a bit slow. She said she could predict. She said at an early point she knew how it's going to end. So then she sort of switched off after that. I guess she's smarter than me, so I didn't know how it was going to go end. I knew she was going to get out, but I thought she might get out, but I didn't know if she'd sort of like leave him, like we said. Would she leave him, or I didn't really know how it was going to end, but yeah, she did.
I thought she might have broken out in rage.
She might, like how I didn't know how strong she was. How strong are these robots?
Yeah, well, because there was that mark on one of the glass panels, and I was like, they must be pretty strong. But to be honest, they didn't look that strong, did they?
No,
really, because he broke their arm with a
bit
of a
weight,
handle of a dumbbell.
I couldn't believe he ripped up her picture though, so that was really quite mean. But I also, what about the scene where he cut his arm?
Oh, I couldn't watch that.
That was horrible.
Weird.
But it was a good scene though because he was going mental and he was like trying to look in the mirror to see if he was going mad or whatever.
There was a point though where I thought, oh my god, he's gonna peel back a bit and he's gonna find out that he's a fucking.
Oh,
that would have been.
That would have been
M. Night Shyamalan style twist.
That's kind of, I was half expecting that. Yeah.
That was a good scene. I loved the scene when they were sitting next to the waterfall when they were chatting and they were both drinking and stuff. So that was very nice.
Yeah, I liked the waterfall.
Imagine you had a place like that and you could just go and sit at a waterfall and look at like your surroundings and you're just like 2 feet away from your house and stuff.
Well,
you get into that stage.
You've been thinking lately. You've decided you want a big house.
This is something I've decided that when I get older and I'm bigger, I want to get a big house.
Big house for a big boy.
Big house for a big boy and decorate it like I'm in some sort of film.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, you need to dream.
You've got to.
What else do you have?
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac dreamt of creating a female robot, and he did.
Yeah, he was just kind of a weird character, wasn't he? So he was he developed like a search engine or something when he was 13 or something like that. Is that what they talk about?
I guess he was a Mark Zuckerberg type character.
Yeah.
Makes me think about what happens behind what conversations are happening in rooms where we can't see them. Do you know what I mean? Like
True.
what is, Google, what is their next project? You know what I mean?
How much information are they actually taking? Well, there's a line in the film and he said, when he was talking about him hacking the world's phones for data to get all this information to build the AI, and he was like, and the companies that like all the companies knew that he was doing it, and they couldn't say anything because then they would have to tell them that they were hacking as well. And it just makes you think.
Yeah, like what are you not being told? Yeah.
We always talk about this. Like you say something and you go on Instagram and an advert comes up for it. It's like, how are you doing that?
We know that as a fact, but that happens where like they can pick up on certain things, and that your search history and what you're looking at online and stuff like that can come up in terms of adverts and stuff.
Don't look up my search history, crikey.
I know. That sometimes worries me. Like, just not for bad things, but I just mean in general. Like, why should other people know what we're searching about, and what we're talking about, and stuff like that? You know, it's you like to think you're got some privacy, but really, do you?
No,
I feel like you could always search something as well just to find out about it, and it could just be misconstrued as, oh, he's into that. Depends how many times you search it, though, I suppose, doesn't it?
It's like if you follow Donald Trump on Twitter, or when he had Twitter, because you want to keep abreast of what the hell's going on. I find myself, if I'm Twitter, I was like, well, I'll follow Donald Trump. I want to, but I don't want. But then I know people can see that I follow Donald Trump. How are they gonna like? I don't know. It's like that.
People think that you're a sympathizer and stuff because you're following him.
Yeah, it's tough. Like even on social media where everyone can see what they're doing, it's tough to. You feel like you have to portray some sort of thing by even the things you post and the things you follow. Yeah, God knows if anyone ever has access to what people search. It's like access. It's like access to what you think, because you search in the way you think. You might,
Exactly. Yeah. He said that as well. It's like, did you model our face off my porn searches?
Yeah, so he was able just to find not just the fact that he was on there, but his searches. Yeah, preferences, things like that.
Weird. What it'll come. That is what it'll come to, though. Like, yeah.
And it is all about it is all about sex in the end. All these new all these new technologies. Let's be honest. It all comes down to porn. Any new thing, any new breakthrough, iPhone, iPad.
Can I fuck it?
Oculus Rift. Oculus Rift just becomes the fucking 3D porn. And telephone, when they invent the telephone, what are they going to do with it? Porn. Television, porn. Books, 50 Shades.
Podcasts, the good bit.
The wheel, porn.
The wheel.
That's a good point, though.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the few things that is essential.
What porn is?
No. Food, sex, and no, that's it. Food and sex, isn't it? Right?
That's it. Yeah. And then you die, and that's it.
Well, yeah, death.
Water.
Well, yeah.
Air. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Oh, it could go on forever. My podcast. I've got to have my podcast.
Yeah.
Trees. I love trees.
Yeah, you have a couch in the room.
You've got to have a seat. What did you do without a seat? So I said,
she's got a stand all day. Yeah, well, ladies and gents, another film is in the books. I'd like to thank my beautiful gents for joining me this fine episode. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you boys enjoyed the film. And I hope you both join me again next time on the Good Bit Podcast, where we chat about another film that has defined our lives and that is an important film in the world of cinema. We will be back next week, next Friday, here on the Good Bit Podcast. So take care of yourselves. Speak to you all then, and have a good week.